lost your mind. I dare you move from there.
On December 28, 2016, Officer Matthew Mercado of the Walnut Ridge Police Department pulled over Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railway Company employee Adam Finley while he was working in an unmarked truck on railroad property in Walnut Ridge, Arkansas. The footage from Officer Mercado's body cam shows that Mr. Finley was wearing a BNSF Railway logo jacket and that he provided Officer Mercado with his employee ID badge and driver's license.
You have anything concealed, any weapons, anything like that?
No.
Okay, well what's with the attitude?
Nothing.
No, you have an attitude, and what's your problem?
I don't have no problem.
Yes, you do.
I'm good.
I can pull you over if I want.
That's fine.
Because I have a right to ask you what you're doing over there.
Yeah, I work for him.
Okay, it didn't look like you were working. Step back from me some, too.
Oh.
You get up on me again, we're going to have problems. I'm glad you think this is a joke, sir.
I work for him.
What were you doing over there? And why aren't you in a marked vehicle? Because right now, yeah, you're obstructing with my operation.
No, let me tell you, I work for him. Look at all this stuff back here.
Mr. Finley steps toward Officer Mercado in an attempt to open the back door of his truck to show the officer his work supplies. But as Mr. Finley steps forward, Officer Mercado aggressively shoves him backwards and places him into handcuffs.
What did I tell you about getting up on me?
I wasn't. I was just trying to tell you something that I could prove that I worked for him.
What did I tell you about getting up on me?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Now, you want to be a post more?
No, I'm sorry.
You better shut your mouth. Come here. You set your right there. And you move from there, and I'm going to ride your... You understand? I don't know who the you think... Look at me. Who the you think you are? Or where you're from, where you mess with cops like that. You lost your mind. I dare you move from there. First of all, I have to prove why I pulled you over.
That's right.
You didn't even let me do that.
I'm sorry.
Shut the up. That's your problem right there. How old are you? If you're nervous, for what? What did you do? Right. So what are you nervous about? How do you think I feel?
Oh,
I'm out here by myself. I don't know if you've got a gun in there. And then I walk up on you and you jump me all verbally.
I'm 37, sir.
Okay, we're the same age. Man to man, why would you talk to another grown man like the way you did?
I just asked you why you pulled me over. I
was going to tell you. Do you know by law we have to tell you why we're pulling you over? Because I can't impede on your civil liberty.
Officer Mercado claims that he is lawfully obligated to tell Mr. Finley why he stopped him. However, while police officers must have reasonable suspicion to initiate a traffic stop, they do not have to inform citizens of why they have been stopped during the traffic stop, although it may be a police department's policy to do so. In fact, the Supreme Court has repeatedly held that a police officer's subjective reasons for initiating a traffic stop should not be taken into account when determining the reasonableness of a stop for Fourth Amendment purposes. And in the 1978 case of Scott versus United States, the court explained that, quote, subjective intent alone does not make otherwise lawful conduct illegal or unconstitutional. In other words, not only are officers not required to inform citizens of the reason for a traffic stop, a stop will still be considered constitutional as long as there is an objectively reasonable suspicion to justify it, even if the officer did not initiate the stop for that reason, or is mistaken about what the law actually prohibits.
But you didn't let me. You become hostile and aggressive with me.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
I didn't say one cross word. I just said, why you pulled me over?
Sir, it's how you say things.
Sorry.
You should be. But you're getting ready to go to jail. Is there anything in here I need to know about?
For what?
For one, didn't I tell you not to get up on me like that?
I didn't.
That's
I
all.
just stood there, sir.
No, you got up on me, sir. I told you don't get up on me. Is there anything in this vehicle you need to know about?
No.
I need to know about?
Yeah, I need my phone.
You don't need it right now.
I've got nothing to do, sir. I didn't.
You got to sit right there. That's what you got to do. Adam, my name is Matthew, and this is all being recorded. Yeah. I'm going to let you go, but do you understand I could get you for obstruction, for government operations, just listen to me now, assaulting a peace officer. I should take you to jail right now. All right? Let me tell you something. When you come in contact with an officer, let them tell you why. Don't just start, what are you doing?
I was just confused.
Don't be confused. I'm going to alleviate all confusion. Now, you put yourself in my shoes, sir.
Oh, I understand.
You're a police officer.
Yes, sir.
That's my property right there. I'm supposed to watch. Are you in a marked vehicle that says railroad?
No.
And where's your plates from?
Ow.
So, now could you see where I'd be suspicious of what you were doing over there?
Oh, yeah.
Officer Mercado explains that he was suspicious of Mr. Finley because he was driving an unmarked truck on railroad property. If Mr. Finley was not an employee, his presence on railroad property could violate Section 5-39-203 of the Arkansas Code, which states that an individual commits criminal trespass if they purposely enter or remain unlawfully in or upon the premises owned or leased by another person or a critical infrastructure. Even though Mr. Finley was authorized to be on the property in the scope of his employment, because there was no obvious indication from his vehicle that Mr. Finley was a railway employee, it is likely that Officer Mercado had the necessary reasonable suspicion to initiate the traffic stop. However, the court would probably conclude that once it became clear that Mr. Finley was a railroad employee, his continued detention was not justified.
Yep. And then when I make contact with you, you're aggressive and hostile with me verbally. And
Well, I mean, I didn't mean to make it sound.
turn around.
Officer Mercado uncuffs Mr. Finley, and after threatening to tase Mr. Finley and take him to jail, the two eventually shook hands and went their separate ways without further incident. Later that day, Mr. Finley met with Walnut Ridge Police Chief Chris Kirksey and Sergeant Matt Cook to discuss Officer Mercado's conduct and file a formal complaint.
What I saw is you want to keep a 6-foot distance.
Well, he should have stepped back away from me because I couldn't go anywhere, sir. You seen it?
I've got the whole entire video
Good.
over there.
Can we watch it?
Can we?
Can
Can I watch it?
You have to do a FOIA on it.
A what?
Freedom of Information Act on it. But from what I saw, he's lucky he didn't go to jail.
Who, Adam?
Mm-hmm.
For what?
Obstruction of justice.
What do you do?
He interfered with law enforcement officers' investigation of the site.
How do you do that?
How'd he do that?
Yeah.
Well, when you watch the video, you'll find out.
I just got off the phone with the prosecuting attorney. I explained to him exactly what happened in this situation, and he's advised me to write.
Have you written a citation both for
Obstructing a governmental operation and refusal to submit to arrest. So you will be written those citations right now.
When Mr. Finley attempts to file a complaint with the Walnut Ridge PD about Officer Mercado's behavior, he is interrogated by Officer Matt Cook and Chief Chris Kirksey, and eventually issued citations for obstructing government operations and refusing to submit to arrest, even though Officer Mercado originally chose not to write any tickets following the encounter. There are no legal limitations that prevent officers from issuing citations or arresting individuals after they originally decided not to, and in cases involving criminal offenses rather than mere traffic violations, officers often wait to arrest an individual to file charges in order to investigate further. However, while there is no legal issue with the delay in issuing the citations, the validity of the charges themselves is highly suspect. According to Section 5-54-102 of the Arkansas Code, the offense of obstructing governmental operations occurs if an individual, quote, knowingly obstructs, impairs, or hinders the performance of any governmental function. Under Section 5-54-103 of the Arkansas Code, an individual commits the offense of resisting arrest if they, quote, knowingly resist a person known to be a law enforcement officer effecting an arrest. As used in this subsection, resists means using or threatening to use physical force or any other means that creates a substantial risk of physical injury to any person. While it is unclear which of Mr. Finley's actions were alleged to be obstructing and resisting, none of the behavior that was captured in the body cam footage appears to rise to the level of either of these offenses.
This will be taken into account.
You right?
You'll be going to court. Oh, yes.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
So this will be taken into account.
Uh-huh.
There'll be an internal investigation, but from what was seen on camera, and I talked to the prosecuting attorney, just now got off the phone with him, he told me to have you written those citations.
Okay, the driver's license. So I'm getting a ticket for something?
Yeah.
Exactly what, yeah.
After being issued the citations, Mr. Finley chose to fight the charges, and on April 3, 2017, he was acquitted of all charges by the District Court of Lawrence County, Arkansas. On April 5, 2018, Mr. Finley filed a civil rights lawsuit against the city, Officer Mercado, Officer Cook, and Chief Kirksey. The case was settled later that month, with Mr. Finley receiving a $57,500 settlement. Overall, Officer Mercado gets an F for physically and verbally assaulting Mr. Finley, maliciously abusing officer discretion, and for overstepping the bounds of his authority throughout the entirety of the interaction. Nothing that Officer Mercado did during this interaction was reasonable or informed by logic or law. And although the body cam footage does not include whatever Mr. Finley said that offended Officer Mercado, his conduct was unprofessional and unethical regardless. Much of Officer Mercado's conduct was nothing short of criminal, and it is abundantly clear that he is not fit to serve in law enforcement. Chief Kirksey and the Walnut Ridge Police Department also get an F for immediately discouraging and dismissing Mr. Finley's claims, misconstruing the facts of the encounter in an effort to justify Officer Mercado's misconduct, and for issuing Mr. Finley citations for crimes he did not commit. Instead of assessing the encounter objectively and taking Mr. Finley's concerns seriously, the chief crafted an alternate narrative based on a misrepresentation of the facts in an effort to defend Officer Mercado's misconduct. Not only did the department stand by Officer Mercado's actions, but they also acted in retaliation on his behalf by issuing Mr. Finley bogus citations. Mr. Finley gets an A+ for remaining calm and collected throughout the interaction, making a legitimate effort to dispel Officer Mercado's suspicions, and for following up this encounter with the proper legal action. Mr. Finley went to great lengths to prove his innocence to the officer, and it is difficult to fault him for being so forthcoming when he needed to get back to work. Mr. Finley's ability to remain calm during Officer Mercado's attacks was remarkable.